Now, of course, you guys weren't expecting for me to make a video about this, but I owe the OneShot community and the Ori community an apology. A couple months ago, I made a video talking about saying that OneShot 2 is real, where there was a tweet that Nightmargin, who is the composer for Future Cat, the developers of OneShot, that made the music of OneShot, made a tweet talking about a celebration of some sort, and there's this character called Lynn, spoiler alert, carrying his sister, and someone quote tweeted saying, "Since when did Lynn had a sister?" And then she made a quote tweet saying, "Stay tuned for OneShot 2, working title." Now, in my mind, I thought that this was true, okay? And in the bio of Night Margin, it says that working on brand new game. And then she posted this teaser, and I was like, okay, looks kind of odd, but you know, sure, let's wait and see. And of course, OperaGS responds to this saying, "Our lawyers will be in contact regarding the logo." Night Margin responds to this saying, "Fortunately for us, this is not the logo." OperaGS responds to this again saying, "Darn, I love suing small talented indie developers." So then tomorrow happens, and it wasn't OneShot 2 as I expected, and it was actually Margin of the Strange. Now, I don't speak for Night Margin or overall the developers of OneShot that created Margin of the Strange. What I will say is that this game does have some elements that are similar to OneShot, but I am hoping that this game will be as good and as beautifully remembered as OneShot. I'll leave a link to their Twitter, the Kickstarter, and the teaser the Night Margin did drop and posted for you guys to take a look at. Now, I also do owe an apology to the Ori community. Now, the Ori community, I have a huge respect with, all right? I have managed to become mutuals with some of the people in the Ori community at the Ori Discord server. I managed to grow bonds. I became friends with. I made a buttload of videos talking about my host for Ori going to the PlayStation. And then I made a video about Ori 3 being real where I said this. Let's go! Sorry about that. My dad is here and I'm not trying to yell very loud, but we got some news. This is the tweet made by OriBox. Says, Game Informer interview with Moon Studios about an Ori 3. Why Moon Studios made No Rest for the Wicked instead of a third Ori game. However, while No Rest for the Wicked is Moon Studios' main focus for the time being, and considering it's a game being developed alongside the community in early access, it could be the studio's focus for years to come. Studio CEO and creative director Thomas Mahlers says he has some ideas for a third Ori game. Quote unquote, "I have a title for it already," he says. At this point, Carole jumps in to explain he didn't know about this, stating, quote unquote, "I didn't know that it was on the table." Mahlers continues, quote, "I have some ideas, but so far right now we're completely focused on No Rest for the Wicked for the time being." Thank you, Thomas Mahlers. Okay, I didn't think that this would be happening, but we're gonna get an Ori 3, all right? Even though I haven't played any of the games, I'm still waiting for this game to be ported to the PlayStation. You're gonna be seeing me play this game, okay? So yeah, I was very excited for Ori 3 to come by, and I did say that I'm still waiting for this game to be ported to the PlayStation until when OriBox made this tweet informing us of what Thomas Mahlers said. Thomas Mahlers made this tweet saying, "Judging by the questions I'm getting, it looks like some people think that we'll release 1.0 and then we're done. Folks, we're nowhere near done with No Rest for the Wicked. There is so much that we've already built that none of you even know about, and we want to deliver this in a masterful way. This early access phase is really just the beginning for us, and we already have plans laid out for what happens after 1.0. No Rest for the Wicked is like our Lord of the Rings, and to further use this analogy, what we've done so far is akin to doing a quote-unquote test screening of the first bits. 1.0 will be our Fellowship of the Ring, and as you all know, there's lots to come after that. So to be clear, we'll be working on No Rest for the Wicked for another 5 to 10 years. This is our magnum opus. We always had lofty ambitions, and we said we're going to contribute in a huge way to the RPG genre, and this is our intention." So that scared me. Okay, because usually when I think of Moon Studios making a new game, as far as I know, it would take them like 5 years, okay? Because in my mind, because when I found out that it took them 5 years to make Ori and the Blind Forest, because they started development in 2010 and 2015, they had to release it. He delayed it from 2014 to 2015 because they gotta do some fixings for Ori. And then after the definitive edition, they announced Will of the Wisps, and 3 years later, they made Ori and the Will of the Wisps, all right? Like 5 years after Ori and the Blind Forest. And so then in 2021, there was an interview where he said that their next game isn't related to Ori, and in my mind, I thought, okay, it's gonna take them like 5 years to make it. One more year for them to keep developing it, and then it's gonna be released in 2025. But then he says that it's gonna take till 5 to 10 years for developing this game, and That to me confirms that we're probably not going to get an Ori 3. So then OriBox was a tweet about this saying, Moon Studios boss says, well, I hope now you folks understand why we won't be making Ori 3 anytime soon. I'm happy about the ambition and dedication that they want to put into North for the Wicked, but almost going 5 to 10 years without a new Ori title is an interesting choice. Sad right now. And this was the tweet to confirm to the fans of Moon Studios. Now, for me, this is sad because, I mean, it is understandable that they're working on a new title that's very different from Metroidvanias. I am sad, okay, that Ori 3 isn't going to be made, but it's not really my decision. It's the developers of Ori, or developers of Moon Studios, I should say. So now I don't know. I mean, he did say that there is an idea for Ori 3, but not like a confirmation that they're working on it. Now, I did say Ori 3 is real because there's news about an Ori 3, even though there's no confirmation about an Ori 3 being made. There's a whole difference about that. And that's why I owe you guys an apology. I'm sorry for clickbaiting you, and I'm sorry for tricking you guys. I mean, I did talk about it in that video, but I wanted to make that video to address it in a sense, to the point where I don't want people to get the wrong idea where I clickbait them, but it's more of a topic that I was interested into talking about. With all that being said, I am very sorry to the OneShot community and to the Ori community, especially my friends that I made in the Ori Discord server. I didn't mean to like start a ruckus or like to spread misinformation. I was only taking the words of Thomas Mandler, and I guess I somehow misconstrued those words into thinking of something that isn't real. So Ori 3 isn't real for now, but we're gonna have to wait and see, being said by Thomas Mellor himself, the boss of Moon Studios.